Hello everyone, GL1 here, and today I am going to repaint some of this Indominus Rex from the Sound Surge line. So this fella here, you push a button here, makes a lot of sound. You can open his mouth, but really where it's deficient is the toenails are white, the nails are white, the mouth is all one color, very bland. So that's what we're going to fix today. I already did this to this T-Rex here, and it was the same, it was all brown. And I painted the inside of the mouth, I mixed a couple of different colors, and I chose a color for the teeth, which is a little bit lighter, a little bit of white added to the yellow. And then I made the nails yellow, and they're shiny because what's a good idea to put on your acrylic paint is a gloss varnish. So you can get a gloss varnish to really put a hard, shiny layer on top of the paint. I also painted the Giganotosaurus as well, so he was all green. So I chose lighter, red with a little bit of orange, and just thinned it out with some water. And then you could see, actually, I should repaint the teeth, but on the outside they're pretty good. But this was all just green, and the muscles here were green, no detail at all. And then I painted the nails black. So, it makes a difference, I think, a significant difference to paint your action figures, or your dinosaurs especially. And you want to have a lot of brushes available to you, before you plan out. I think I'm going to use these two. One's a little bit of a broader stroke, but it's at an angle. So what's nice about that is if you have a larger area and you just want to kind of dip it in and you aim that in the corner and then make a good stroke across there. So that brush would be great for that. And then the smaller brush is going to be good for doing teeth, hitting the teeth. And you can use probably a little bit of both brushes for the broader stroke and the smaller one for details inside the mouth. But that's why I also have other brushes. And then, have some water off to the side so you can, when you're done using your brushes, you can put them in right away and rinse them off. If you want to use the same brush again for another color, you just rinse it really well and then, put it in, put it with a towel, clean it off with a towel. You can get that paint off there. And you want to have a little bit of a mixing palette so you can drop your paints in here and you can mix them in the center. You can mix them inside the individual palettes to try to find the colors that you like. And you want to also have a lot of different choices for paints because of the mixing. Then you can get more of your specific colors. Now these are some high-end paints here, these King Art paints, and this is the metallic assortment. So I don't think I'm going to be using any metallic here. I also have some iridescent. I might use iridescent. Iridescent does pretty good on the dinosaurs. So, certainly if you want to paint like their back or change their color, you can do that. But I don't think I want to do that. I want to, keep the Indominus, the way he originally was in the movie. And then you just have your basic acrylics here. So I'll start with that. And I might really just pretty much stick to that. So let's see, his nails. Let's see what color we think. I think black is probably a good color for his nails. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so we have a nice, good, thick black paint over here. And if you don't like the way something looks, you can clean it off right away. You can use a paper towel and some water. That's the thing about acrylic that's nice, is that it's water soluble. So it will wash off. So here we go. Nice black nail. Like that. And there you go. There. So what do you think of that? Pretty good. I think it looks great. So I can get that little tip. All right, and we'll hit another one. And probably not a good idea to put the paint on the bottom of the nail because it's going to just get rubbed off anyway when it's standing. So if you can achieve the look just like that, get from the side, there we go. And let's see if we have enough. Oh, yeah, he likes it. Can hit that again. And you know, we even have a nail back there, right? For that back claw. So we can use this small brush for that. All right. So let's get that small brush. Let's see how steady, if I can hold this steady. Yeah, he's warning me to be steady too. All right. This little gnat. These gnats came in with these plants, and it's winter, and we brought these plants in, and these little gnats are all around, and they're always looking for moisture. All right, so there, how's that, huh? That's pretty good detail. Well, now that we have the small brush out, we'll just hit the other side, right? All right, so I think you could see where this is going. But let me, you know what, before I go on this, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint everything, and then we'll come back for the mouth. But let's see how these claws look in black. I think they're going to look great. And then, you know, the paint's pretty shiny, but I think a nice acrylic coat on there would give it the hardness that we want so that, you know, when you're playing with it. Because as I've said, it doesn't matter how old you are, you can play with dinosaur toys. That I think that one is okay because it's a real job. You know, being a paleontologist and looking for bones and piecing together dinosaurs, that's a real scientific endeavor. And, you know, going through in your mind how they might fight each other and attack and everything, you know, helps sometimes flesh out certain mechanical ideas that you might think on how they would approach each other, you know, defensively and offensively. So, you know, I say it as a joke that no matter how old you are, you can play with dinosaur toys. But really, when you think about it, I think there really is some valid mental exercises to kind of working out the mechanics of the interactions of predators with each other and predators and prey, you know, and really just thinking like, okay, well, this guy's designed this way. Oh, I keep hitting that button. And you know, that guy's designed that way. And they're, how are they going to mesh? How are they going to, you know, meet up, and what that confrontation might look like, you know. And sometimes, just like in chemistry, when you're making those chemical models, when you have all those, you know, little stems and atoms, you know, you have the atomic structure, and you're putting it together, and you're kind of playing with visually how to orient it. Of course, a lot of people will do it on software now, but visually, you know, to see how you would orient, you know, the visual aspect of it. And touch and is very important for, you know, human beings. And so sometimes, even if it's a computer model, you can't maybe really feel the way things would happen. Now, I imagine with practice, you know, oh, see, I got some paint where I didn't want it to go. With some practice, you can begin to visualize, you know, with the computer model better, you know, but and that's not my style. So, all right, so I got a little paint there, right? So what I'm going to do is, that's a little bit small of an area to get a paper towel on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a paintbrush, and I'm going to dip the brush in water, and then I'm going to kind of whisk away. I'm going to try. It looks like it's just spreading it, huh? Not working. Well, no, it's going to work. There you go, see? And we get that off of there. And you can see that falling down onto there. We'll get that, whisk that water right away. The other good thing about acrylic paint is it dries really quickly. So that can be a plus and a minus, but when you know it, it can be more of a plus. It dries quickly, so you know, you can touch things and start to work with them and change them quickly. But you also have to be aware that they dry quickly so that, you know, you don't leave things on. So, all right, so that's what the nails look like. I think that's great. So I'm going to make some decisions on the mouth, and we'll start painting that. All right, so I'm going to paint the tongue first, and I'm going to paint it blue because there's a skink, the Australian blue-tongued skink, which has a blue tongue. And the tongue is blue in order to frighten predators. So if you notice, when I opened up this blue paint, it was the oil had separated, or whatever liquid it is. I don't know, maybe it's just water actually, that's separated from the blue. So I just used the back of a paintbrush and then, you know, just mix that up again. But anyway, I'm going to paint his tongue blue because that's kind of in keeping with a known reptile, the blue-tongued skink, and it's meant to be so frightening to predators that when they see that blue tongue, they're like, that looks weird, I'm not messing with that. And so let's see if this is... Now I know on the skink it's supposed to be bright blue. However, I work somewhere where they have a blue-tongued skink and it's not that bright. So maybe this guy, we might want to tone this down, but let's see what it looks like just pure blue. And we can tone it down. We can, you know, use this as a base, and then we can mix the blue with maybe a little black or brown or even white and just kind of tone it down. But want to have it, you know, realistic anyway, as realistic as the unrealistic Indominus Rex is, right? Because it's not a real dinosaur. But they could have designed it really any way they want, right? So there's our blue tongue, and we use this fine paintbrush to get into there. All right, so I don't know. I think I'm okay with that. I think that looks pretty good. So let's make that a little darker. So we'll let that dry, let that blue dry, and then we'll hit it with another coat, okay? In the meantime, we'll paint some of the red in the mouth, and I'm going to mix some paint for that because I don't want that to be super red. I want it to be more of a darker red. All right, so we have our blue-tongued Indominus Rex ready to go for the next step. All the fingernails and toenails have been painted now, and I am going to put another coat of blue on there. But before we do that, let's mix some paint for the inside of the mouth. So I'm going to take some red, and I'm going to stir that up a little bit here. And just, you can see how that kind of has separated. And it's not too bright of a red. Got some darkness to it, and that's good. And we'll just scoop some of that out, and I think we'll just put it right there. So put some of that there, and then I'm going to get some brown oxide over here. So got this brown iron oxide, and actually this one you can just squeeze a little bit. So you don't necessarily want to squeeze the paint right into the other paint because you might get the levels wrong. You want to go slowly to mix to see if you can get the right color that you want. So just mix that, and that way if it's still a little bit too much of something, you know, so maybe this is still a little bit too brown, so we still have our red over here. We can add in a little bit more red. Scoop up some of that red there, put that on there, and then let's go again, mix that up, And let's see how that looks in the mouth. Okay. So, get our... What do you think? We got getting some on the tongue. Whoops. Well, we can get that off, and we're gonna paint that tongue blue again anyway. So the good thing about acrylics is they will paint over each other quite well, covering it up. So sometimes you just really don't have to worry too much. You know, you just want to make sure that you get good coverage. And there you go. And then we're going to get the muscles on the sides of the mouth. So I see that right in here. And I want to make sure it's thin enough that you can see the texturing, sort of the muscle tissues and the texturing through the gums. So, yeah, I'm gonna get this little corner right there. So there, much more realistic, right? I mean, take a look. You know, that looks really unrealistic. So get that right in there. What a difference right away, right? I mean, just completely changes the character of the toy and makes it more of a real model. And then we can paint the roof of the mouth. And because the roof of the mouth is kind of wide, we can get our wide brush again, which I washed off. And just paint that up in here. Get the back of the throat even. Yeah, he's getting happy about it. All right, get that in there. This is where we're getting kind of narrow, right? So then we just go back to our small brush again. And, it's good to get better at predicting maybe how much paint you'll need, so you don't, get more paint than you need, and then you're wasting a lot, but you don't want to get too little, and then when you mix it again, you have a hard time getting the same color again. That can always be a bit of a challenge. So, all right, so we're almost done, and we have the right amount of red, and you could see that the red really covers, really well in one coating. And even if it is a little bit thin, that's kind of okay, because it looks still, in a way more realistic with a little bit of a thin coating instead of being too thick. There. And so I got a little bit of paint on the teeth, but we're going to paint the teeth white. So that'll cover on that. All right, so I'm going to get that blue out again, and I'm going to hit that tongue again, and then I will get the white paint out, and I will paint the teeth. All right, so going to go back to the blue. Oops. Oh, where'd that go? There we go. Okay. And here we go. And you could see that the next coating of blue really is very bright. It covers right on top of the other coat very well, which you may or may not like, you know. If you don't like it, you can add some black to it, darken it up. And see that the acrylic dries so fast that you can go right over that red within like 5 minutes. Whoops, and then I hit the red again. Whoops. But that's okay, because I can get some red. So I'll let that dry a little bit, and then now I'm going to do the white. Okay, so let's get this white. Get this nice and bright pearly white teeth. Even though dinosaurs probably had a hard time keeping their teeth clean. I don't know, maybe, you know, they didn't brush. But who knows, maybe they had a way of self-cleaning. Well, I know one thing is that they had a lot of, they could replace their teeth, so their teeth would fall out, and then they'd have multiple sets of teeth. Very helpful. So, you know, you just want to make sure you get enough paint on your brush to cover it well. Much better, right? Come around this side. Get that tooth again. Get those front teeth. All I want for Christmas is his 2 front teeth. There. And then we can even get the inside of the teeth a little bit. You could see how I messed up on that one tooth. Right there, I got some white, you know. And, you know, we'll be able to clean that off or cover it. Go inside here. Oop, there goes the camera. All right, so we're going to need some more of that red. We're going to have to hit some of the places that we didn't do such a good job on. And get this tooth again there. And while I'm at it, let's hit this guy's teeth again. They looking a little bit shoddy. Right. And some of this, you know, the paint doesn't stay on as well as the baked on paint that you're going to get from the factory, which, as I understand, is very toxic until it dries. So you don't want to be near it. But once it's dry, it's inert. Acrylic paint is, as far as I know, not toxic really at all. I mean, I don't think you want to drink it or anything, but it's not, I haven't seen anything that says it's a carcinogen, cancer causing. All right, there. Yeah, his teeth look a lot better. Get these front ones here. Okay. All right, then now we're going to go back, get a little bit of that red. Let's see if we have enough red here You don't have to mix anymore. Yeah, it's good. Should be good. So go back to where we messed up a little bit. And right there. And I think we can get, let's see, a little bit right where that white is. Gonna fix that right here. Let's see. Yeah, see this paint was already drying. But I think we just needed a little bit. And there. I think that's really good. Comes out really well. Oh, you see this up in here. Now, see, you can do something about this or not do something about this. But you see this little extraneous part there. We're just kind of redden that, right? Because the roof of his mouth, it's not really going to see it. But, while we're there, right? Might as well do a good job. All right. So there you are. Indominus Rex, black nails, blue tongue, white teeth, red mouth, right? Much more realistic. Yeah, he's much happier about that. So, you can get all your Jurassic World, Jurassic Park dinosaurs and do this. Now, sometimes the paint, especially on the softer plastic, retains a stickiness to it. It doesn't quite dry. It will never stop being a little bit sticky. If that bothers you, you can take that paint off, use some paint remover or something, or maybe even just if you get it right away, with just a little bit of abrasiveness, you can get it off, and you can look to find a paint that won't do that. It just sometimes it's hit or miss on the acrylic paints. I find on whether they're going to do that. The other thing you can do is you can try putting on the varnish and see if that's going to coat it. So this is actually one of those situations where, yeah, there's a little bit of stickiness to it because this is a softer plastic than the body. But I didn't find that to happen with the other two dinosaurs. So I don't know if the plastic here is slightly, well, I would guess it's a slightly different because this is not as sticky at all. And also, I probably touch this guy up. See how that nail's coming through? So I'll touch all those nails up. So why not? All right. Well, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. And go ahead and get yourself some paint and paint your dinosaurs. All right. Take care. Talk to you soon.